start because we were talking a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about your lineage and your travels. I know you've spent time in Minnesota, New York, California.
Yes. I'm originally from Minnesota. I grew up in out in the suburbs in Lake Minnetonka area, and then I went to NYU for college.
Okay.
Partly because I really wanted to be in New York to do music. And at that time, it was like I went to college in 2009. I was a freshman, and like the singer-songwriter thing was still really. That was like the pop songwriter was like very much still a thing, and Lady Gaga was like had like just gone to NYU also and was like a star now, but she'd just been playing around there. So anyway, I was in New York for most of my 20s, and then I lived in LA for a year. I kind of wanted to like explore the like pop songwriter industry out there, like just see what it was about to like write for other people kind of. And when I was out there was when I decided to go by Nina Luna, start releasing music under Nina Luna. And then I moved back to New York for like a year and a half. And then in 2019, I was kind of like, all right, I think it's time to like go back to my roots, take a little break, see what else is out there.
Well, and you must have learned a lot in your travels because you kind of started with more of a folksy singer-songwriter sound, and now you've kind of transitioned more to sort of, I would say, alt pop or music like that. How was that evolution?
So I grew up listening to a lot of singer-songwriters and like folk music, and my mom is a huge fan of Bob Dylan. Obviously, we're in Minnesota. Kind of like acoustic guitar and piano and songwriter pop. That was my vibe for a long time. And then, I think it was probably when I was in college and in New York that I had friends that were in like the music production program at NYU. And so I was kind of being introduced to more of like just like full on pop style. And so I started trying to produce my own stuff then. And kind of more, it was like, I was a huge fan of Lorde at that time. And Lorde had just put out an EP, and she's a singer-songwriter, but her music had this like kind of hip-hop rap like beats and stuff to it. So I thought all that was really cool. And now I kind of, it's hard to choose. I mean, some of the music I've put out fairly recently is like acoustic guitar and my voice, and that's it. I still love that like really simple, like heartfelt singer-songwriter style, but I also like dancey pop stuff, and so I've just decided to like not put myself in a box kind of, and just explore whatever I'm feeling in the moment.
And I want to ask you more about the music production in a minute, and I want to say that out loud so you can all help me forget. But what have you seen there the differences between the scene in New York, the scene in LA, and in Minnesota? And which is best? No,
Minnesota, obviously.
Thank you.
I would say it's almost like hard to compare them. I think that LA is definitely like, if we're talking about like if you're trying to have a viral Spotify hit or something, if you're trying to get on like, if you care about like Spotify pop playlists or something like that, or if you there's a whole industry of songwriters out there that are either trying to be the pop artists themselves, or they're like they want to have a hit song that Selena Gomez is gonna record or something like that, you know. So when I was out there, I ended up feeling like that wasn't really ever my goal, to like have a hit song for somebody else. But that is a whole thing. I felt like the people perform live out there a lot, but I think it's more about like songwriter showcases. Like those are very prominent, and that's a cool thing. And New York, I don't know. New York, when I was out there, they obviously still have a very like super strong live music, local music scene. But I felt like it was more geared towards. Again, this is just like totally my experience, and I don't like somebody's gonna be listening and be like, "That's
fun. It's fun to hear."
But yeah, my experience was that I was right now, especially, I think it's geared more towards like bands and rock bands, indie bands, whatever, and less. There's kind of less of a audience or whatever space for like pop songwriters or solo artists right now in New York. And then, I mean, the thing for me being back in Minnesota, and especially within the last year or two, I've very much kind of leaned into performing live a lot. And I started performing more solo, but I was playing with like my backing band recently. And I mean, it is really great that there are so many people here who genuinely want to go see live shows. They're into discovering new local artists, and there is a lot of support. I kind of wasn't sure before, but I do feel like there is an avenue for like local artists to kind of make a name for themselves here and possibly actually break out of just the local scene and like get kind of a national presence. And I wasn't sure if that was a thing. Like before I moved back here, it seemed very like supportive as a community, but it was mostly like like kind of isolated within Minnesota. But I would say that's not necessarily the case. So I've been really, really enjoying kind of being part of the scene here, I would say.
I think, and this is just as someone who likes music, the nice thing about the Twin Cities is it's big. We have a lot of choice. But and I've never lived in New York, but it's not London big, where you can choose between, are you going to see Stone Roses, you're going to see the Rolling Stones, you're going to see, and sometimes that's too much to take on. You know, here, because you don't have those obvious choices where there's a battle, then you're like, oh, I can see whatever I want. You know, there isn't the feeling of it's my once in a lifetime chance to see such and such band. You know.
I think that the size of Minneapolis is great for like that reason. For just you can have a community, but there are still new people you haven't met. There are still people who haven't come to your show or heard your name, obviously. So yeah, I think that's.
But here's a super quick question then. When you're playing to an audience, would you like to have all new people? Or would you like to have all the familiar faces? That's
so funny. I was just talking to somebody about that recently, and we were saying that like we both kind of agreed that as an artist who's trying to increase your audience size, that actually the goal is to like look out at the room and have it be full of people and not know any of them.
Yeah.
And ideally they're all like paying attention to you also.
Right.
But you know, not like a room of people talking. But I feel like I've been having more of those experiences lately. I mean, it's obviously great to have friends and family come and support, like no doubt. But yeah, if it's a room of strangers who are like just discovering my music for the first time and they're into it, I mean, that's kind of ideal.
So you don't get into your head if everybody's just staring at you? Like, do they like it? Are they staring at me like, when's it done? Like,
I think you can read. I mean, I would say, so a recent experience I had with that was I played at 7th Street Entry last Friday, 2 Fridays, not this Friday, but the week before. We were opening for we got like an opening slot for a national touring act, which was really cool. So it was me and my backing band, and we were the first of 3 acts. And I was like, this is cool, this is fine, you know, it's not like a huge space or anything. I was excited about it, but I got up on stage and like my legs were like shaking. Because all of a sudden I looked out and I was like, it was that experience. I was like, there are a lot of people here. I really don't know any of them, and they all paid $18 to get in this room, and now they're all like standing here looking at me
Yeah,
like we're here.
and it's close.
We're here. Yeah. They're like, we're here for our show, and I was like, oh. Yeah, okay, I want to deliver for you, because, like, you know, I mean, it's different from a lot of the shows I've played recently, which have been great, but, like, I played at the 331 Club several times, and that's great. There are tons of people, but there's no cover. It's a lot of, like, local people there who like live music, but they're also having a good time. So, yeah, this was different, but I liked it, because it kind of upped the stakes a little bit, and it made me be like, okay, I really want to, like, make sure we, like, give them a really good show. Yeah. But yeah, I was surprised that I was so nervous all of a sudden.
But a good nervous.
Yeah, good nervous. Yeah.
Hey, would you like to play a song for us?
Yeah.
Would you please play a song for us?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, like, not bang my guitar. I'm gonna readjust here, not bang my guitar or anything. Yeah, I was gonna play this song called Pirates, which I wrote actually a long time ago in 2015. And I had released it under my other name, and then we brought it, I took it down, but we brought it back for, like, the live band shows, and it's, like, one of the favorites, and we recorded a live band version of it a few weeks ago, which I'm going to be releasing soon.
Nice.
So, and usually, like, the main part is a kind of weird, haunting keyboard sound, but this is the solo acoustic version, so this is Pirates. Cannot stop once I start to sin. Like the moon to the tide, yeah, they draw me in. I like the bad ones, the rebels, the rangers. Like the thrill of the game and the danger. But what I really want, I never get. Pirates only want that golden armor dreamer, wishful thinker. And they lied again, but they won't win. 'Cause I've been used up, drained to the bottom of the well. It's a funny place to be when all you do is keep asking to be filled. But baby, I'm all done. Baby, I'm a quiet, fortunate one. And baby, I'm all fun when I'm all by myself. Hey, hey, hey. I could be so sweet, you see, if you just let me be his baby. But he promised more than the cards he holds. Now I call that bluff, and it's time to fold. 'Cause I want the mind, the body, and the soul connection. Don't you leave me feeling low, I don't need you. I'm not a pretty prize, and now you lose. 'Cause I've been used up, drained to the bottom of the well. It's a funny place to be when all you do is keep asking to be filled. But baby, I'm all done. Baby, I'm a quiet, fortunate one. And baby, I'm all fun when I'm all by myself. Hey, 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 don't know where to go. All these false starts and empty hopes. The thief in the night, the wolf at the door. But it's only life, so I don't care. And you disappear. Now I've been used up, drained to the bottom of the well. It's a funny place to be when all you do is keep asking to be filled. But baby, I'm all done. Baby, I'm a quiet, fortunate one. yourself, hey, hey, hey. Thank you.
Holy.
Yeah, Nina Luna with Pirates in studio, live. Gorgeous.
So live. Thank you.
Incredible.
Wow, thank you.
No, live. Wow. Like, yeah, that was much more than I thought was going to come out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what I was
seriously.
going for is to
It's
go above and beyond. Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
really
no,
appreciate
your
that.
lyrics, you are a deep ass thinker.
Oh yeah. Well, it's from feeling. It's the deep feeling.
You're a
and then,
feeler.
Yeah, it's. But yeah, I'm always like, it's worth it if I can get a song out of it, and I typically do.
Well, and you must. I mean, so this is an older song, or
Yeah.
you know, the origin was an older song.
Yeah.
Did you start to high five your younger self, going, "Nice one"? I still like that one a lot.
Yeah,
but I want
do.
to take it up again.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, yeah, I have a number of songs like that where I mean, in a way, it's kind of bittersweet because I sort of like wish I could have done more with it at the time, or it would have done. I was very frustrated when I was younger. I felt like, I mean, like when I was, or I don't know, teens and early 20s, I was very frustrated. Like, I feel like my song is really good. Like, why can't I do more with this? Why isn't it not getting traction? And I mean, at this point, I'm a believer in like everyone's on their own path and everything, and everyone's timing is different, and you know, so, but it's cool to, like that song, for example, to be able to now play with the band and kind of give it a new life and introduce it to people again, so.
And when you sing it, as Heather says, it's such a personal feeling song.
Mm-hmm.
Do you come at it from a different angle in your head, or do you kind of feel the feels you felt?
I think, yeah, it's funny. I would say I feel the feels I felt in a way, not about like that specific situation it was written about or anything, but just, there's definitely like, there's like parts of me in that song that I think are very much just like my personality no matter what, or I revisit those themes, kind of throughout different relationships or years or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that's another reason why it's kind of gratifying to perform, because I still do relate to it. Yeah.
Do you get inspired your writing through your own experiences, or I know you're a photographer and a lot of creative outlets, is it inspired by a certain shot that you have or something and you can create a story, or is it all?
I would say, yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's initially it all comes from my personal experiences and the feelings that I am feeling. But I'm super inspired visually too. And so I think that just like all of my kind of like romantic, just the things that I'm drawn to, like, visually or in any kind of form, photography or like film or anything like that, those all influence it as well, because it's kind of a whole world that I'm like creating in my head when I'm writing.
Are you a dancer by any chance?
No.
Okay, I asked because there was, when I was listening,
no.
there's not on purpose.
Yeah.
You had aspects of like Florence and the Machines, and
Yeah.
I can see her, like she performs it, and then when I was listening, I got that from your song, so I just was curious.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. She's definitely one of the people that I list as like an influence, and if people ask what my music sounds like, I hope that that's one of the ones that they get from it. But yeah, I guess I would say in the way that like her, she has that kind
movement,
of whether it's like choreographed or not, but I relate
Feel
to
it,
that. I would say I'm trying to bring that. Actually, I've been playing these like tiny little stages, but now I'm hoping like as I have room to expand and move around on the stage, I'll be able to like incorporate some more movement. Yeah.
When I'm reminded of the video that you did last year, I think, Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the pirates and the music.
Yeah.
You have this legitimacy of vulnerability and yet empowerment, kind of that balance of the two.
Yeah, I
But-
like that take.
Yeah, remind folks or tell folks a little bit about.
Sure.
My first question is where was it filmed? But talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Lone Wolf was a single I put out last year. It was one of the ones I produced. All the singles I put out last year, I produced myself. Yeah, I shot it. Oh gosh, now I'm gonna like forget the name of where we shot it, but it's like right on the other side of the river from like Minnehaha
Hidden Falls?
Yeah.
See, I was like, I have spent time. I spent a lot of time.
I was like, everyone's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, why don't you remember the name? And I shot it with Kelly from Starseed Studios, who does great work. And yeah, I think the vibe of it kind of had like a little bit of like a piratey. I think I was a little bit of like Vikings kind of, or like
there's
Game
that
of Thrones
area
kind
is
of
a
thing.
great place for some of that because you've got the stone steps, those
Yeah.
super steep stone steps
Yeah.
going down to it, and
Yeah.
it's funny because I was thinking about it. I walk most day with my dad, and we kind of walk to those steps and back.
Okay,
We do
yeah.
a 3-mile jaunt to those steps and back. And I
Yeah.
was like, I am reminded of Nina's video.
That's yes, spot on. Yeah, it was great. I love I love nature and I love like beautiful cinematic spaces as well, and so it was cool to like get some like really big shots with like the trees and the stairs and the water and all of that. So
it's very majestic. I mean, the
Majestic,
trees are and the
yes.
greens, and then to see you, and you are gorgeous as well. But to see you in the midst of it, kind of, it brings out the big and the small of the world.
Yeah. I think it just and like you said, the kind of like empowering versus emotional thing. I think that somehow that tied in with being kind of like alone in this big majestic space and kind of like out in nature and in the wild, which I love to do. I love to be like alone out in nature in the wild, and it can be kind of like, well, you're out here alone and maybe it's scary or lonely or something, but I don't usually feel that way. Actually, I feel like it's more empowering, like, yeah, I can do this, and so
Or your mother's daughter there.
yeah.
You're reminding me of on your song Prophecy. I love one of the lines here that says, I know I've been pushing you away. I got used to being brave.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
That was another song that I wrote in like 2014, and
The irony of prophecy.
I wrote in like 2014 and I put it out then too. So like the version that I just re-released is that version, and there are things like on that mix and the recording of everything. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing, so there are things that I listen now, like technical things, that I kind of want to change. But it was one of those ones that I still really resonate with a lot, and I just like the energy of it. So I was like, I'm not gonna nitpick. I'm just gonna put it out and not be too harsh on myself. But yeah, that line, I think that's kind of one of the themes for me throughout my writing and my life and everything, is like I'm a very, very independent person, and I like that about myself. But I think it can go depending on like circumstances. In the past, it can almost be to a fault. So I think I've definitely gotten, it's something that I've worked on to have it be more of like a balanced, healthy thing, instead of just that kind of like, I don't need anybody or whatever. Yeah.
It's a pendulum swing at the best of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, for myself, I find that.
Yeah.
You're like, nope, don't help me across the street. Just, but,
right.
And then there are times you're like, please carry me across the street.
Right. Like letting people help, be close. Yeah, all of that. And then being like, but if I want to go on an adventure by myself or something, obviously I can do that because,
Because you're a force of nature.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
Exactly.
And now I'm going to remind myself to talk a little bit about the music production that you did.
Yeah.
That you do. You had something on Instagram where you kind of showed the screen, which
Yeah.
I always think that's so much fun to see.
Okay, good.
But,
I think it is too.
Yes.
And whenever I'm like posting stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know who is engaging with this or not, but
well, and for folks who maybe didn't see the post, just describe it a little bit. I could give a very junior description, but
I think you're talking about. Are you talking about the reel where I'm kind of like here are all the parts? Yeah. So I made like an Instagram reel where I went through and basically kind of played a tiny little clip and showed each track in my. That made up this song, like on my computer. So I produce everything. I produce everything at home on my laptop. It is a low budget DIY situation. I use Logic Pro. That's like that's fine, industry approved. But I have recorded vocals on my phone. I am mixing and I am just YouTubing as I go. I mix with headphones. I don't have the things I'm saying right now, there are people who would be absolutely horrified. A lot of people would be like horrified. But it was another thing where it's kind of I've had to find a balance of like collaborating with people when it's worthwhile, and then also I've had a lot of experiences where I would work with someone because I was just like, well, they know what they're doing, they'll just automatically make it sound better. And then I just wasn't ever super happy with the results. Partly because I was just like, the thing is that I have this idea and it's almost more important to me to like get that idea realized than to have it be like technically perfect. So yeah.
If technically perfect were the standard for music, we'd never be listening to Willie Nelson.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point.
You want something that strikes you, and sometimes when I see bands live and they're like, oh, I totally messed up that line, I'm like, if I wanted to be perfect, I'd sit home and listen to your album, drink my beer for cheap, and have no one stand in front of me. Like it's that thing that makes you different, that vision that makes you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I can just I can be a perfectionist, but I've gotten a lot better about not being too hard on myself, and every song I work on is just a whole learning experience, and there are things that I'm like, I don't think I could replicate that if I tried. I don't even, I went down some wormhole of like, let's try out all these things, and it worked out great, and people will be like, oh, I don't know, I'll have people that have like studied music production or mixing or whatever be like, how did you do that? That sounds so, the mix is really good, or I'm like, I actually don't know. I don't have the terminology for it.
Button I pushed that day.
But it is cool. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback in general on the production and the mixes and stuff. So I think that's partly why I keep going, because it's fulfilling and rewarding for me. But most of the time, I don't think people would be able to tell whether I produced it or someone who's, I hired somebody else to do it. So that's kind of the bar, I guess, for me at this point.
I was going to say, your sound and lyrics, I like the rawness and the rougher, edgier, rather than seamless. It wouldn't seem to fit. I mean, it would be great too, but I think it's a better match.
Yeah, thank you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think I'm hoping that like eventually this will just be like my signature sound, or maybe it's already there, I don't know, but rather than trying to match the pop songs on the radio, that maybe I'll just be like, oh, I'm doing my own unique thing, whether that's intentional or not. So
I think it all depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, do you want to get on Spotify and have the 100, what's going to make you happy when you look back?
Yeah, and I mean, I think for me, it is like, I would like to, I just want people to like it and listen to it, and also I want to like it and listen to it, so I think that's what everybody wants, right? It's like, make the thing that you really want to make, and then also have everybody else be like, yeah, I resonate with that. Sounds good. So
Well, I was going to say we had artists come in saying, I just want to make music that I'm not embarrassed for my friends and I to listen together or whatever.
that's a good one. Honestly, that's a good one. Yeah, that's definitely something I think about also. But I don't know. I also I do really love pop music, and I'm and there are certain songs that they're Justin Bieber songs or whatever that I've liked where I'm like, no one wants to sit around and listen to this. This is not cool. This is not cool.
Guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure.
But so I don't know. I think again, as long as I know I'm happy with it and why I'm doing it and what I'm referencing and what I think I'm aiming for, and if I feel like I'm hitting that mark, that really is. That's pretty much what matters, I would say. So.
Could we twist your arm into playing another song?
Yeah.
And while you get ready, I'm just going to remind folks that they're listening to Mostly Minnesota Music on WMCN 91.7 FM on the beautiful McAllister College campus in St. Paul. We have Nina Luna in studio, being so generous with her stories and with her music. We're about to hear.
This song is called Still There. It's not released yet. I'm planning on putting out an EP later this year, and I'm planning on having this one on it. I've performed it a few times live at some solo shows kind of recently, but it's still kind of fresh, so I'm gonna try to nail it. This is another emotional one. Sorry, everybody.
Honestly, don't wanna write these lines, but you're honestly always on my mind. What can I say anyway that would change anything? I'm old enough now and I know better now, so I'm giving all the chances to the guys who are coming. I don't expect you'll be one of them someday, but there's something still I can't deny when I think about your arms. This natural sympathy I thought would die, still going strong. It's the thing with wings when I pull back the curtain to my heart. It's still there, a little glowing ball of shiny white light lets me know I still care, and it makes me believe in a higher power. This is not my doing, I swear. I thought this feeling I had for you would fade, but damn, it's still there. Time and again I let this go, and I did my best not to let my feelings show, cause they'd all just say that it's hopeless anyway. And I don't chase, no, I attract, and you're the kind of guy that could give me a heart attack. I learned not to touch the flame the hard way, but there's something still I can't deny when I think about your arms. This natural sympathy I thought would die, still going strong. It's the thing with wings when I pull back the curtain to my heart. It's still there, a little glowing ball of shiny white light lets me know I still care, and it makes me believe in higher power. This is not my doing, I swear. I thought this feeling I had for you would fade, but damn, it's still there. There's something still I can't deny when I think about your arms. This natural sympathy I thought would die, still going strong. Well, it's the thing with wings when I pull
Luna, thank you. Still there. Watching that, and you do play such personal and emotional music. When you get off the stage, do you feel like there's been a catharsis, or do you feel just drained and fatigued? How do you feel?
I feel good. I would say when I'm performing the songs, especially with the band, it's not that I'm not tapped into like the meaning of the songs, but it's more of like a physical presence kind of thing for me. It's very cathartic. It feels like I am realizing my whole being, and I'm like, yes, this is it. I come off feeling like really, really good and grounded, I would say. Actually, it's grounding for me to perform the song. So yeah, it's great.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be. I mean, you just never know whether it's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know if everyone feels that way, or I think maybe everybody feels different, but I've noticed that recently that like playing the shows feels very. I might come in kind of feeling kind of shaky or weird or whatever, and then I get out and I'm like, oh, I know who I am and what I'm doing, and it's like, and physically it feels grounding. So
then you know it's right.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's the fantastic part about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna ask, since you live in a house, or had grown up in a house of such creative, I know your brother is too. I think.
He's a visual artist. And he does music stuff too. Yeah.
And your mom, that I know, and you. Yeah. If you're sitting around talking about somebody and something, everyone's like, oh, we like this line, or somebody said it really cool. Who gets the dibs on? Or do you all do your own spin? I was like, how does that work?
No, that's a good question. I think all of our I know that my mom, I think, likes sharing, like, as she's writing a little bit more. I'm super, super personal and closed off about it. Yeah, I'm like, it's if I'm writing a song, and also my songwriting process usually is like I write if a song is gonna come out, it happens pretty darn quick. Like, it's usually like the song's done in, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's a day, but there isn't a lot of space for me to or like within the process there isn't usually a lot of time for me to like overthink the lyrics or search for outside opinion or anything. So yeah, I don't know. I know there have been times when I'm talking to my mom and one of us will kind of jokingly be like, there's a song lyric. Whether we use it or not, but sometimes, yeah.
I will say we have alluded to your mother a few times. Would you like to give anyone a personal nod so that people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So my mom is another song. I don't even want to be like, another local songwriter, but my mom is Courtney Asmine. She's a fantastic recording artist and songwriter, and her style is more, sorry mom if I'm misrepresenting, we're both always like, our style is changing, but a little bit more, I would say, folk, country rock influenced
Absolutely
versus
fair.
I have more pop influences, but yeah, you should check her out as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, I always marvel at musical families because I think your happy birthdays must sound a lot better than my house.
We do have some like singer. Yeah, I do remember my mom like doing the harmonies for happy birthday.
Sometimes we feel like we should just say it.
Yeah,
That
right.
would be kinder to the table next to us,
I don't know. It's more about the feeling anyway, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Have you got any shows or things that you're looking forward to next couple weeks or months?
Yes, I have a couple solo gigs. This coming, I hope I'm right about this. This coming Thursday, I will be at Modest Brewing from 6 to 8 p.m. playing solo. And then next...
16th.
The 16th, yep. And then Thursday,
Or wait, the 13th.
I guess I don't
oh,
know
I'm
that.
sorry. So
The 13th you're playing
16th
Modest. The 16th is.
I was gonna say the
Open
16th
Street.
is a different. Yeah, I was gonna try to not get my phone out, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, so the 13th I'm playing at Modest. The 16th I'm playing a little half-hour set at Open Streets.
I love those.
And I actually haven't been, but I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah, to be
it's a
part of it.
way to get a lot of new listeners too.
Yeah,
so you'll have
it
fun.
seems cool. So I'm doing that at 3 p.m. on the 16th, and then the next band show is Thursday, July 20th at the Astor. So that'll be exciting.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets, yeah, make a
Yeah.
reservation,
Yeah.
all of that good stuff.
That
Yeah,
would be
gorgeous.
an amazing location for your music.
Yeah, I've played there a couple times before, and it's great. It's like just we can kind of rock out just enough without it getting like being too much overkill. And then I'm gonna play a solo set first actually to open, so I'm gonna do a solo set, and then we'll do the full
nice.
band
Cool.
set. Yeah, get a little
That's
bit
a
of
really cool
both.
idea.
But it's Astor's like perfect for that kind of thing, so I'm excited.
That's great.
No, cozy and hip at the same time.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
It's
you for
been
having
great
me.
it's one of our favorite things. We're like, we get private concerts and
Ah,
hear
yeah.
things that other people don't get to hear live.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing that.
No, this was amazing.
If we were going to play one more song of yours, what would you like us to leave off with?
Oh my goodness. If you're gonna play, well, I don't know how dancey do you get on here? Because I would.
Oh, we'll play anything.
Do you want us? Okay, I was gonna.
We'll play.
I mean, I would say Force of Nature.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics on that one too.
Or you could do. I mean, Lone Wolf would be the other one maybe because we referenced it. But those would be
Well, I was going to say, while Heather's looking for that, tell us a little bit about the song.
Force of Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Force of Nature. I wrote and released like a year and a half ago. So beginning of 2022. Gosh, I don't know years anymore.
I know,
I don't
but
know.
none of
I
us
have
do.
no idea
That's
what
fair.
that means. I think it was beginning of 2022, not this past winter, but the winter before. And I kind of was like gearing up to like really jumpstart my music career again. And I mean, the pandemic had happened and everything, and I had put some stuff out then, but this song Force of Nature I wrote, and it was like really energetic, and it's kind of about me just like really like recommitting to my dream and my goal of doing this and doing it full time and just giving it everything I got. And yeah,
That's
Here,
perfect.
that's
That's
for
a
sure.
perfect setup. Yeah, we've got Nina Luna with Force of Nature.
oh, this
Yeah, thank you.
I think this is the remix.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.